Hi everybody, this is Romy. I wanted to give you a little bit of follow-up on my story. For some of you that have known me for a while, you know what my story is as far as what happened with my emotions and the deep despair from surgical menopause. So I get a lot of questions about what I use and different suggestions and all of that. So I thought that I would just go over some of the products that I used, kind of what I started and what I do now. So when I first started using the oils, I actually just started with the Family Physicians Kit, but I did some research to find out what some of the oils were that I wanted to try. So for those of you that have some of those feelings where you're kind of feeling like you're crawling out of your skin and you're just really agitated and all of that, ylang ylang happened to be the first oil that I bought for that. And I would use ylang ylang. I would put it I would take a hot bath. I would put it in my bath. Sometimes I would just smell it. It can have a pretty overpowering scent if you use too much of it. So really with all of the oils, little is better. So ylang ylang was the first oil that I used when it came to really trying to calm some of that stuff that was going on with me. Frankincense is the next one that I used. When I first started using the oils, Natalie told me that everybody should be using frankincense 2 drops under their tongue every day because it was a good brain oil. So my experience with frankincense when I first started, I had just the 5 ml bottle. And so I figured, well, if Natalie said that I should do it, then I'm going to do it. So I did it. So I went to put it under my tongue and it didn't come out. And so I just shook it a little bit, and by the time I was done, I had frankincense on the side of my face and a bunch in my mouth, and it was nasty. And I swore I would never use frankincense again. But it just so happened that after a while with using the oils, my system started to calm down, and I was really on a good track. And I had one day where my family was gone and I was all alone. I was working out in my yard, and all of those really sad, bad feelings just kind of washed over me. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I just don't get this. And so I decided I was going to try frankincense one more time. And so I went in the house, put 2 drops under my tongue, and literally 20 minutes later, that calm was there, and I was just able to go about my day. So what I do with frankincense is, because I don't like the taste, I still don't like the taste of frankincense. Sometimes some of the oils, if you use them, they just don't taste good. Lemon is awesome. Wild orange is awesome. I mean, we have our favorite oils that we use that we really like the flavor of, but other oils that are really good for us, maybe we don't like the flavor. And so I came up with a combination of frankincense, and for a while I actually used Slim and Sassy because that was awesome for energy and all of that. But I actually switched to peppermint, and peppermint is also good for energy and concentration and all of that. So really what I do is I just do 2 drops. Oops, just like that, it just spills. And 2 drops of peppermint. And take a swig of water. So I don't normally talk when I do that. So my tongue normally doesn't touch the oils when I do that. I don't mind the taste of peppermint. I actually like the taste of peppermint. But normally when I do that, my tongue is on the roof of my mouth until I'm done. And then I take a swig of water. And I do that every day. And honestly, to be straight up, there are times when I start to struggle. That is when I'm not consistent with the products that work really good for me. And so I try to do that every day. And if I'm starting to struggle, my family will say, my husband especially, Mark, will say, like, have you done your frankincense? Go do your frankincense. And my daughter's the same way. So those they really help. They just kind of help with the balance of the mood. And it's good to do it every day because it kind of keeps you ahead of the game when it comes to that. So the other oil that I found that was that I actually replaced ylang ylang with is Balance. So in the midst of everything that was going on with me, I actually ended up taking 12 weeks off of work because I just got to where I just couldn't work. I couldn't function. It was just really bad. And so when I went back to work, I was on a good path and on a good track, and but work was really stressful. And so some of that agitation and just that feeling of, I don't even know the word. I mean, we all have our different descriptions of what happens when our body is just not happy and it starts to freak out a little bit. Sometimes, I mean, if you go into a crowd, you just kind of get jittery and nervous, and so I had pretty strong reaction to when there was a lot of activity going on, being in a negative environment, and I had high anxiety. I don't know what other word to use for it. It was bad. So so what I would do with this is that I would put it on my wrist, and so I just do 2 drops on my wrist. I rub my wrists together like this, rub them up into the palms of my hands. And when I talk about using the oils and then also doing some behavioral changes, I count to 8. And so I count to 8 when I breathe in. And count to 8 when I breathe out. And I do that until I can feel my body relax. And I'm telling you, if you do it on purpose and you just make yourself sit quiet for a minute and you use the Balance like that, it is amazing how it relaxes your system. So that's my favorite oil when it comes to that. I use the Balance all the time. I'm never without Balance. The other products that I use are the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So for those of you that don't know what the Lifelong Vitality Pack is, they are all of your vitamins and minerals and whole food source, and all of your omegas, the land and sea. They have everything in there that you need. And so when I started with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, again, I did it because I was told how good it was, and everybody was on the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Mind you, my whole life, I have bought vitamins and thrown most of them away. And so I just wasn't a vitamin person. And when I found out how much I was going to have to spend for the vitamins, I was not thrilled about that because I just didn't see the value in taking vitamins like that. And so Mark and I decided that we were going to split the vitamins for the first month. And for me, I honestly, I didn't see or feel any results in that, and he didn't either. And so I didn't order anymore. Well, when we stopped taking them, that's when both of us realized that we really were getting the benefits, because my moods and the way that I was feeling started to change drastically in a very short period of time. And so we ordered vitamins, and to this day, we are not without them. So I will be honest. For a while there, they changed the formula for a little bit, and that didn't work very good for me. And so I was not taking them, and I have really struggled for a course of time in trying to figure out what I could do as far as different ways that I could take them, because I saw the benefit of them before, and I was trying to get back to that benefit. And and it just wasn't working. So they changed the formula again, and it is, and I am back on them faithfully, and I can totally tell the difference. So when I talk about the frankincense and how my family will say, have you taken your frankincense today? Mark actually, I have a little pill container, and Mark is actually the one that fills that for me, and he will make sure that I take them, because it's just still, even though I know it's good for me, I just get busy and, you know, all of that. But especially if my moods are funky, he will go and look at my pill container. So the other one that I take also is the women's formula. So this is the bone nutrient and phytoestrogen. So it's really, really important to take the bone nutrient and the phytoestrogen together, because that is where, that's what affects the most hormones in your system. That's really what helps to bring you into balance the best, is if you take both of them together. So that is a huge benefit for me as well. So those are what I take every day, and we order them as a package. We always have them on hand, and because we travel, as you can see, we are in our rig. I look like I'm in a spaceship. We have extra on hand. We don't go without anymore, and we don't go without extra on hand anymore either. So I also wanted to give a little bit of kind of tips that work for me as well, besides the products. So one of the things that I've noticed is that if I get off course and I start to incorporate more sugar into my diet, or the like flours and the simple carbs and any processed food, anything like that, I can really tell how my emotions are. And so it's really, really important, if you are struggling with anything, with moods or anything like that, even if you're not struggling with hormones, just look at your diet and see, and just do some experimenting and see if any of the foods that you're eating. Some people don't do dairy. They don't do well with dairy. Different things. Just kind of play with your food and see if that makes any difference in how you're feeling and all of that. Exercise, obviously, we all know exercise is good. We just have to move our body. And I'm terrible at that, especially being on the road and everything that's going on in our life right now. It's been really, I just haven't been good at it. But I'm going to be. I am now. I've set a course, and I am on a good course for eating, and I'm on a good course for making sure that I can make my body as healthy as possible, because the emotions, what happens to me when I am not as healthy as I can be, for me, it becomes very, very scary for me, because the moods shift like really fast. And so I can't take that chance, and I can't risk what will happen if I don't take the time and make my health a priority. So, excuse me. The other part of that is the emotional support, and so that is, make sure that you take time for yourself. The people that we are around a lot now are moms. A lot of us are moms, and no matter how old we are, it's our kids, and it's always easier to put other people before us. And it's just like what they say in the airplane, we have to put on our own oxygen mask first, because if we can't take care of ourselves, eventually you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. And I know from personal experience what happens with that, and it's really, really rough. When someone needs your help and you don't have the energy to help them, gosh, that was just really bad for me. Really bad. When I had before I started doTERRA, my husband and I had a ministry to the homeless, and we did it for like 12 years. We went out twice a week and fed the homeless. We went to their camps and brought blankets and socks and food, and really it was just a matter to love on them. And I loved them. That was something that I really dreamed of being able to do full time, and I was just striving to be able to do that full time. And when the menopause hit and the emotions hit, and all of a sudden that despair, I was completely empty. And when I was working, I had a drawer for the guys. They would come in and see me, and it was just kind of like coming to check in with mom so I knew that they were okay. And so I'd give them socks, and I had different food that I could give them and stuff. And when all of that hit, I would see them walk in the door, and my heart would just sink, because I just didn't have it in me to take care of them anymore. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me during all of that time, is because I loved them. And to know that I didn't have it to take care of them anymore, that was really, really rough. And so it's really important to take care of you first. And it sounds selfish, and we as women for some reason think that it's not okay to do that, but it's okay. You have to do it. It's mandated. You have to do that in order to make sure that everything in your life runs as smooth as possible. So the other thing that I think about when I think about women's health is the idea to be able to pull all of us together and to be able to empower all of us together, because we are powerful if we can team together. I don't know, for some reason women just tend to just be mean to each other sometimes. I mean, some of the snarky comments and backbiting and all of that, we're better than that. We are so better than that. And so it's a matter of us pulling together and to be able to help each other make our lives better. So I found this one quote a long time ago, and it just keeps coming up, and it says, "So if there ever comes a time when women of the world come together purely and simply for the benefit of mankind, it will be a force such as the world has never seen." And that's by Matthew Arnold. And so that really is my heart in sharing all of this, and because it seems like when I talk about this, it's menopause and it's bad emotions and all of that. It really is a matter of figuring out a way for all of us to come together and work together, empower each other, and bring that power together. Because if we can do that, we can do amazing things together. And so I gave a book away on my page one day. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was called Lioness Arising by Lisa Bevere. And she talks about the strength of women and what will happen when women come together. And it's not this sense of women coming together and separating us from the men. It's coming together so we realize our power, and then we can come together with the men, and we're all powerful. And that's really what part of that is. And so part of her in the book, it says the lioness is a magnificent image of strength, passion, and beauty. And so in the book, in reference, we are the lioness. And so the lioness pride is a creative and strategic force to be reckoned with, acting as one to change the world around them. And so that's my heart, is to be able to just to do that. And we can do that if we come together. And talking about women's health and being able to pull us together and help each other, to give each other the tools to get healthy physically. We can get healthy mentally and emotionally, and then have the power and the strength to go out and help others. So I wanted to also just share a couple of resources. So if you haven't diffused oils, and if you haven't seen a diffuser, this is one of the diffusers that I have. I actually have Passion in here, and it's lovely. So there, you can get diffusers. You can get diffusers on Amazon, but you can get them on at Aroma Tools or My Oil Life. One of the other things that Mark and I do is the Symphony of the Cells. So this is, we actually have a little bag that we carry all of our oils in that do different Symphony of the Cells. This is actually an older book that we have. Boyd Truman, if you're not familiar with it, Boyd Truman is actually the one that came up with Symphony of the Cells. And there's actually a symphony in here that you can do for hormones, and it's fantastic. It's lovely. I can tell a difference in how I feel like immediately when we do that. So the other resource that is really, really good is it's called the Body Systems. And so this goes through and it talks about all the systems, and then it also has oils in for suggestions that you can use for your different systems. It's really a great resource. And the other one is the Oil Life book. We have the Modern Essentials. It's kind of reflective a little bit. I really, really like this book. It has a ton of information. It has beautiful pictures. It's an amazing resource. If you don't have this book, I highly, highly recommend getting it. Sometimes if you don't have an account and you're working with someone, sometimes they offer that as an incentive when you get your account, or there's different ways that you can get it. So that's another resource for that. So with that, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you. I hope this was valuable. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I hope you've enjoyed the information that you got on the class online if you attended that. If you didn't and you want that information, please reach out to me or reach out to the person that shared this video with you. But we can definitely get you the information that you need. But in the meantime, empower yourself with knowledge, because knowledge is definitely where it's at. Whatever you need as far as information, if you got something going on with you, there's information out there. If you're going to a doctor, by all means, go to the doctor, but don't be afraid to ask questions. If they're prescribing something for you, make sure that you're asking what the side effects are. When you pick up your medication from the pharmacist, make sure that you're getting the right medication. People that are giving this information, they're human. People make mistakes. I've seen it firsthand, and it's really, really scary. So really empower yourself with the information that you need to take care of you personally, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to reach out, because it's super, super important. So that's what I got. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.